In the early morning of June 10, 1912, the small and peaceful town of Villisca, Iowa, would waken to a horror that would forever mark its history. The Moore family, Josiah, his wife Sarah, and their 4 children had spent a pleasant Sunday evening at church, attending a special children's event. 2 friends of the Moore children, Lena and Ina Stillinger, were invited to stay the night. No one could have imagined that those hours of laughter and innocence would be the last moments of their lives. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any dark stories like this one. The next morning, the neighbors noticed the house was strangely quiet. No one had come out, even though Josiah was known for being punctual and hardworking. Worried, they called Josiah's brother, who entered the house through the back door. Inside, he found a scene that would haunt everyone who entered. The Moore family and the 2 Stillinger sisters were all dead, brutally murdered with an axe while they slept. The details of what happened that night remain one of the most disturbing mysteries in American history. The axe, belonging to Josiah himself, was found at the scene covered in blood. But what intrigued investigators the most were the peculiarities surrounding the crime. Every mirror in the house was covered with cloths. Each victim's face was also covered, as if the killer couldn't bear to look at what he had done. A bowl of half-eaten food was left on the kitchen table, suggesting the killer might have calmly eaten after committing the murders. There were no signs of forced entry. The doors were locked from the inside. No one in the neighborhood had heard screams or signs of struggle. It was as if an invisible shadow had entered, taken 8 lives, and vanished into thin air. Over the following days, hundreds of people passed through the Moore home, contaminating the crime scene before the police could properly investigate. The town was paralyzed by fear. No one slept soundly anymore, and soon the rumors began. Some said they had seen a tall man wearing a wide-brimmed hat walking toward the train tracks in the early hours of the morning. Others swore they had heard faint footsteps and whispers near the house. That man became known as the Man with the Hat. Investigators followed every possible lead. Several suspects were questioned, among them a Reverend George Kelly. He attended the same church service the Moores were at that night and left town early the next morning. Kelly even confessed to the murders at one point, but his confession was later withdrawn, claiming it had been forced. He was tried twice, but the jury never reached a verdict. Other suspects included business rivals of Josiah Moore, former employees, and even transient workers who passed through Villisca on trains. But none of the theories were ever proven. The case went cold, and the identity of the murderer remained an unsolved enigma. Over time, the house became known as one of the most haunted places in the United States. Visitors reported hearing children's laughter, footsteps in empty rooms, and even seeing the figure of a man with the hat watching silently from the doorway. Paranormal investigators have spent nights there, recording strange sounds and unexplainable cold spots. The most chilling thing about this story is not just the brutality of the crime, but its intimacy. The killer entered a home filled with peace, warmth, and family love. He didn't act out of hatred, but out of something much darker, something that might have been planned, or perhaps purely evil in nature. To this day, the Villisca axe murders remain one of the most terrifying unsolved crimes in America. The house still stands on East 2nd Street, preserved as it was in 1912. And those who have dared to spend a night there say the silence is so deep it feels alive, as if the walls still remember everything that happened that night. And you, what do you think really happened in Villisca? Who was the Man in the Hat? Leave your opinion in the comments and share this video with someone who loves mysteries.